Blessings, everybody. Blessing. It is Think About It Tuesday. And give me a second. I am going to be tagging a couple of people in this because we need people to know about Think About It Tuesday. And y'all know how we do Think About It Tuesday. Is where we start to share things that's going on in the city, around the city. And we are here to just talk about local government today. Local government is what we're going to talk about here on Think About It Tuesday. Amen. And I just find it very interesting on how things are going right now and how things are so quiet, you guys. We are, I'm just texting a couple of more people. Tag somebody, tell them to tune in to Think About It Tuesday. Tell them to join us here on Think About It Tuesday. Good morning, Russ. See that you are on here. But we want to really get talking in a second. I'm just tagging a couple of more people on to Think About It Tuesday. It is the first day of absentee early voting. It's the first day of early voting where you can go and vote early. And so just want you guys to know that, share with some people. I'm just sharing real quick, and then we're going to get started on this Think About It Tuesday. Amen. And I am just believing God for great things for the city of Milwaukee. We need to start looking to better life for everybody. And I do mean everybody. I think everybody needs the opportunity to be at the table and not just on the menu. You know, this is Black History Month as well. And you know, this is the time of the election where they pass out awards in the Black community during election time, so they can tell people, we really appreciate you and what you're doing and what you stand for, but they really don't mean it because of the fact that nothing is getting better. And you know, and that's something that we really want to talk about. And I'm only going to tag two more people. And if I think I see Ann Jordan on here, Ann, if you want to join in, just let me know and I'll inbox you the link that you can join in on this broadcast this morning. Think About It Tuesday. So I just want you guys to know. So I'm going to jump in right now and let's get this thing going. It's Think About It Tuesday. And today we're talking about local government. We're going to talk about local government today. And one of the things, you guys, when there's a presidential primary or a governor's primary or any of those races, you hear more on the news, more on the radio and everything when it comes to the presidential race, when it comes to the governor's race. But when it comes to your local races, you don't hear nothing. Nothing. And you ought to ask yourself why I don't hear anything. And you got to ask yourself, why is it that our local races, which is the most important race in my life that deals with my everyday living, they don't hype up, they don't talk about it, they don't want a big turnout. They always want low turnouts for local races. And the reason that is because they don't want you to take control over your life anymore. They don't want you to really address things that affect you on a daily basis. Like we had a real bad snowstorm and everybody complained about the snow removal and everybody complained the poor service that was giving. And you had elected officials that was blaming DPW for the poor performance. Nobody wanted to take responsibility. So nobody did anything. And now that the snow is gone, and if you ever drive from Lisbon, coming down Lisbon from like from 97th, 98th in Lisbon, and you driving down, and it's like playing Dodge the hole. It's so many potholes, and they don't want to talk about the potholes, and they don't want to. They put in these bumpers, stop bumpers, or whatever you want to call them, out on the streets, but they won't fix our potholes, and they're not really addressing crime, and they're not really addressing a lot of things that deal with your everyday life. That if you look at your property tax or your water bill, you find that there have street lights on your water bill. You find out that was increased. You find out sales taxes was increased, but they never want to talk about our local races. Why do you think they don't want to talk about local races? Why do you think they don't want you to know that there's an election? A lot of people don't even know that there's an election. A lot of people don't even know that there's time to vote for a new mayor. A lot of people don't know that there's time to vote for new county executive and county supervisors. And a lot of people don't know that there's time to vote for your automatic districts. A lot of people don't know because why? They're not saying anything. They push the president. They push the president race, but they don't push the local races because they want to keep who's in office in office. And so they rather you not know about it and have a low turnout because they want to keep you ignorant to what's really going on. But listen, you guys have an opportunity right now. Those of you that have been complaining about the safety, about the theft, about the potholes, about the services that the city's been giving you, you have an opportunity now to change everything. Everything. You have an opportunity now. You know, I was talking to some people, and again, I have nothing negative to say about Cavalier Johnson. I tell people all the time, he's a nice person. He's just not a leader, and he's not for our community. And a lot of people were saying, well, yeah, he's for our community. Well, then I tell you what, He's been an alderman, the president of the Common Council, and now mayor. Name me three things that he has done to really impact our city for the better. There's none. There is none. There's nothing. Nothing. And so when we look at what's going on today, and I've been getting some phone calls from people who need help in different areas of their lives, and you have people that's upset because their loved one was murdered and that person is out on bail, but the person that shot the police officer, thank God he's still alive, won't get a bail. You got a person that's is accused of murder and he's out on a signature bond, and you got things that are happening to your loved ones, but you are not getting any justice, but nobody is saying anything. No elected official saying anything on your behalf. We have drug overdose. Nobody wants to talk about the drug overdose death that's going on. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to address that we have a lot of drug overdose in our community, that we have a lot of mental illness going on in our community, that we have a lot of homelessness that's going on in our community, that we have a lot of slumlords in our community. Nobody want to talk about those kind of issues. Nobody wants to talk about the things that affect us on a daily basis. Nobody want to talk about any of the things that deals with our everyday life. But what they what they have done now, a lot of you don't even know that today is day one of early voting in person, because a lot of you didn't even know that there's an election. And the funny part about that election is that a lot of things is not on this election, on this primary. What's on their primary, in some districts, you have like District 5 and District 7, you have a primary because you have three people running for alderman in District 5, and you have three, I think 3 to 4 in District 7 that is running for the automatic district. And then you have a mayor primary where three people are running for mayor. So there's really nothing on the ballot. And so what they're hoping is nobody go out and vote in the mayor's primary or in those automatic primaries, because they know if low turnout goes continue to happen, then they feel that they're going to win. And I want you guys to talk to your families and friends and say, hey, listen, there is a primary. Absentee early voting is going on right now. Absentee ballots is going on right now. A lot of you probably getting those absentee ballots and didn't realize that there's an election. They are not talking about it on the news. Certain radio stations are not talking about it. Some are not, because they do not want you to go out and vote in this primary. They do not want a big turnout on February the 20th. So I encourage you to talk to your family, talk to your friends, let them know that there is a primary going on, because the most important race that deals with your life is not the president's race, it's not the governor's race, but it's the mayor's race, it's the automatic district race, it's the county supervisor's race, it is the county executive race. Those races are the most important races that is out here right now. And they don't ever, Channel 6 haven't said anything. Channel 6 never reached out to any. I'll take that back. I ain't gonna say any. Channel 6 have not reached out to me as a candidate for mayor. Channel 4 have not reached out to me as a candidate for mayor. Channel 12, Channel 58, or even Spectrum News. Nobody came to interview to say, why are you running for mayor? Because they want to keep it on a hush. They want to keep it on a hush. They have not called and say, hey, would you come on and have a conversation? Let the people know who is David King and why is David King running for mayor. Not one mainstream media, not one, reached out to say, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about why you're running for mayor. Nobody. They don't want to do it because, for one, if the people wake up and realize, and a lot of them have, I talk to a lot of people as I knock on doors, as I talk to people in restaurants, as I see people on the street, a lot of people is already sick and tired of our current mayor. A lot of people are not pleased with our current mayor. A lot of people understand that our current mayor has already been brought by Chris Abele. A lot of people understand that he will not and cannot do anything for our community, because if he could have, he would have done it by now. And so a lot of times, a lot of people are not pushing our primary. You don't see anything about get out to vote. You don't see anybody knocking on your door say, we have a primary, you need to vote. We're not going to tell you who to vote for, but you need to vote. They're not out there because they don't want to change power in local government, because they understand that if you change and put real people in office in local government, then the city of Milwaukee will be changed. They know that it won't be the good old boy days anymore. They know that they're not going to be favored anymore if you start to get rid of them. So they never really talk about local government. They never push local government. In 2020, only 91,000 people out of 577,000 people voted for a mayor. But in that same year, over 250,000 people voted for a president, because they gave more attention to the president race than they did local races. So they do not want anybody to know about local races, because local races is what deals with your everyday life. If you want better opportunities, you have to change those that are in office, because those that are in office have already showed you that they're not for you. They have already showed you that your life will not get better, but it'll get worse in the city of Milwaukee. Because why? Education sucks in the city of Milwaukee. It's not safe in the city of Milwaukee. The elected officials are not business friendly in the city of Milwaukee. So when you look at all of this, then you're wondering, then what are they for? They're not for you. They have proven time and time again that they're not for you. So they do not want you guys out there. Early voting started already, and you can go up into a couple of libraries in the city of Milwaukee. You can go up to Midtown in the city of Milwaukee. You can go downtown and vote, do early voting. But if you don't do early voting, you need to vote in person February the 20th. Early voting is out. They're out here. There are. It started today, and they won't talk about the candidates. You notice that? I looked up Channel 6. I looked up Channel 6 News, and all they said was early voting. And the reason they said early voting, because of the fact that they don't want nobody. They don't want anybody to really challenge Cavalier Johnson. They want the mayor to stay so their agenda can continue to move forward. They don't want anybody to challenge him, knowing that if the people know, because the people are tired of him, and if the people knew that that there was a challenger, if they knew the challenger, if they would have took time to interview the challengers, then they would let you know that um, that there is a real threat. But here's the thing: if they keep you ignorant, knowledge will always govern ignorance. So if they can keep you ignorant, then they can control you whether you realize it or not. And so what end up happening is if we don't get the information out for you to do your homework, I always tell people, don't just vote for me. Just look at what I have done already. Look at my work and go from there. Go from my work. Go from what I have already done. Go for what I've done in the city versus everybody else in the race. Go at my character. Look at my character. Look at their character. That's how you do it. So I'm on Fox 6 website, and I'm going to click where they say early voting. And when I click early voting, all they say is there's early voting and where you can vote. Washington Park, Washington Park Library, Tippecanoe Library, Good Hope Library. But here's the thing. They do not talk about any of the candidates. They don't even mention who's on the ballot, on what ballot. They do not want you guys to know the ballot. Now they talk about the president's races, they'll talk when it was time for the governor's race. They talked about the governor's primary. They talked about who was on those primaries. They shared about those people on those primaries. But then when it comes to our local races, where everything about you is important, everything about your life, everything about your life, your local life, your local government, everything there, but they will not share any of this with you guys. And you got to ask yourself, why won't they talk about, if they feel that Cavalier Johnson have no real threat, don't you think they would say that? Don't you think they would mention that? Don't you think they would be excited to say, hey, listen, the mayor doesn't really have real challengers. These are the people that's running against him. But they will not talk about who's on that ballot. They will not. And you got to ask yourself, why are they keeping the local race so quiet? Why all these people that's supposed to deal with voting not knocking on doors and telling the people, there's a primary? Why doesn't these organizations that deals with voting talk about our local races? Why are they keeping the information away from the people? And if they're keeping away the information from the people, then to me, that's like oppress. You're oppressing their votes. You're not letting them know that there's an election. You're not letting them know that the mayor had only been there for 2 years to fulfill to finish up Tom Barrett's term. Why are they not showing the great works that this mayor's did, even for the primary, to say, look what this mayor have done for the city? Why they're keeping it so quiet? Why they don't want you to know that there is a primary? Why they don't let you know that there is a automatic district primary? Why they don't let you know who the candidates are in our local races as of right now? That's something you got to ask. Why won't they share with you what's really going on in our city? If you study, if you go just look up, the most important race is your local race, not your presidential race. Don't let people lie to you and say the president's race is the most important race, because here's the thing: the president can order something and your state can take the 10th Amendment and not even follow what the president says. So don't let them say that is the most important race. Your local races is your most important race. And why they're keeping it quiet, why they're not saying anything about it. Our local Main Street media is not even talking about the local races. They won't even introduce you to the candidates of local races. They won't share with you who's on the ballot. They won't do anything. So as we going and as we knock on doors and as we are doing what we're supposed to do, people say, well, I didn't even realize that the mayor was up for election. I haven't heard anything on the news. I haven't heard anything on TV. Those people that knocked on my door and made sure I go out and vote for the governor or the president, they not out here. Why they not knocking on the door telling us to go vote? Why they not knocking on our doors to make sure everybody's registered to vote? Why they're not? Because they are part of that system that want to keep you ignorant to the things that goes on locally. This is why they're not knocking on the door. This is why they're not saying we got to get people to the polls. This is why they're not saying it, because they don't want you to understand what happens if you change leadership locally. Locally, if you change leadership, your hands get untied. Locally, if you change leadership, you are now off the menu and you on the table. Locally, if you change leadership, what happens is when you change leadership, you change your culture. Locally, when you change leadership, the doors of opportunity open up for everybody now. But if you keep the same people in office, those same doors are going to be closed to you just like they was before. Nothing changed. If you keep the same people in office, nothing changed. We have drug overdose at a record high. We got mental illness at a record high. We have child sex trafficking in the city of Milwaukee at a record high. We have pedophiles, which have a new name now. They call themselves MAP, minor attractive person, high, and nobody's speaking. No one is speaking. No one is sharing. No one is saying anything. Nobody. We have tax on businesses, attacks, not tax, just attacks. They're attacking businesses. They're not business friendly. They steady watching Milwaukee die. People are steady leaving. People are sick and tired, so they're leaving. They don't want to be here anymore. They don't see no future. Our young people leave. They don't want to come back. Come back to what? Our school system report card is terrible. And they don't want to let you know about local government. They don't want you to know that it's election time. Early voting started. Today is the first day of early voting. If you don't want to go to early voting, then no, February 20th It's the time to vote, February 20th. I believe that if we start to share the information with everybody, that we can make a difference for a lot of lives in the city of Milwaukee. And I want to be that mayor that's a mayor for everybody. I need everybody at the table. Every area of the city have different issues, but we need to address them all. Business owners, you need somebody who understand business, who understand a P&L, who understand profit and loss, who understand what it takes to hinder a business from thriving. We have to make sure, and I only came on to do Think About It Tuesday, but we have to make sure that we get the word out that voting starts today. Early voting starts today. Look us all up. Look all three of us up and make your decision. If you want something different in the city of Milwaukee, then you need to vote different. If you want the same thing and you're happy the way it is, then vote for the same thing. But in order to get something different, you have to vote differently. If you're complaining about the way the city is ran, if you're complaining about the service in the city, if you're complaining about the crime in the city, if you're complaining about the streets and the potholes and all of these things that's going on in the city, if you're complaining about any part of that, you need to vote different. If you vote for the same people that caused the problem, then the problem is going to stay. So I encourage you to take a look in the next 14 days. You got now until February 20th to make a difference in the city of Milwaukee. The change starts now. It starts with you going to the poll. You won't change, it starts right now. That's when it starts, right now. So reach out to your family, your friends, and let them know, say, hey, it's election time. We got to go vote. We have to change what's going on. We cannot keep it the same. I want you guys to know that I'm not running to become a career politician. I'm running to make some changes, and then I'm gone. I'm running to make life better for everybody. I want the Latino community and the Black community to be at the table with everybody else. I don't want you on the menu. I don't want you to be used only for your vote and then they forget about you. I need you at the table because everybody's lives should have an opportunity to be better. Everybody should have the right to prosper, to feel safe in their homes. Everybody. This is not about one group of people. This is about all of us. And there's only one promise that I can promise everybody while running for mayor. I can only promise you one thing. And I don't have to worry about ever breaking that promise. And that is, I would never, ever sell your trust. I would never sell your trust. You can bank on that. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So you don't have to ever worry about me selling your trust. All right? I need you to talk to your people. Early voting has already started. Early voting has already started. Look up the candidates, vet the candidates, make sure you know who you're voting for. Not an image, but the individual. They work, their character, their integrity, all of that is something that you need to take a look at. I will represent the city of Milwaukee in a way that you would be proud. I will represent you to the fact you might be thinking about leaving, but I guarantee you'll be like, nope, I'm going to stay. Change starts today. Change starts today. It doesn't start tomorrow. It starts today. If you want to do early voting in person, then it starts today. If you want to wait till the 20th, that's fine too. But you need to talk to your family and friends. My number is on the screen. Anybody want to call, ask me anything about myself, that's my number. That's my direct line. That is not a campaign number. I'm willing to talk to any and everybody. And I will never tell you what you want to hear, but I tell you what you need to hear. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't lie about it. If I don't have an answer, I'll tell you I don't, but I get you an answer within an hour. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you. But we will together make Milwaukee a better place. We will together make Milwaukee a city we can be proud of. We will together make Milwaukee known for the good things and not known for high homicides and low education and a bad place to raise a family. Oh no, all of that's got to go. You'll have a servant mayor, a mayor that will love to serve you. This is what I'm asking you to do. Let me serve you. Early voting starts, and it starts now. That's the type of mayor you need. You need a mayor that will serve the people. And I made a promise to these young men right here over at Kingdom Prep Lutheran High School, where I coach high school basketball. I told those young men, I said, listen, the day I become mayor, I still will be your coach. I'm still going to coach you, even though I'm mayor, because I love empowering young people. So I would not give up coaching high school basketball. I will still be the mayor. I have an excellent coaching staff over there. We all love the young men. We all empower the young men. We all share with the young men. And we're working to build great character in those young men. And so we're not going to stop that assignment. I love serving people. Let me serve you for the next 4 years. This is Dr. David D. King. Change starts today. God bless.